I guarantee that you will win more stacked endgames just like this if you watch this entire video. In this video, I will be going over rotations, refreshes, storm surge, and many more important things that will help you definitely do better in cash cups and FNCS. We are going to be going through one of my best games played in a stacked scrim that you guys can learn from. We're going to start off on the 6th zone. I'm considering 6th zone to be endgame because it is a half and half zone. It's just a little bigger, but if you position yourself well, you can put yourself in a really good position to win the game. Especially for 6th, 7th, and 8th zone, it's super important to rotate early. This is mostly because the storm actually moves really fast. As you can see, me and my duo are rotating deeper in a zone before storm even starts to close in. We end up getting up close and personal to another team, but as you can see, we use wood to block up for sides and get away. In the no mobility season, you have to use wood to block off your angles. We end up getting inside the building to refarm after getting tagged up a little bit, but now as you can see, 7th zone pulls far. We know there's a dock in Mega City that has a launch pad, but we don't want to go first or early because we'll get lasered out of the sky. We end up waiting a little bit, waiting for another team to use the launch pad, and then follow them. As you can see here, when they glided in, they did not get shot at, so we followed their exact same route because if they're safe, we're safe. We end up getting on this hill because we want to be elevated, but we get fired at. However, just watch what I do here. I ramp over this team and get above them. Ramping over teams to block off their angle of sight and to get yourself a solid place in zone is very important. 8th zone just opened, but it pulls far. Unfortunately, we are on the back side of zone, which means we can't go early. We can't go early because we would get shot at by the teams that are already in front of us. In this moment, I'm scouting out possible rotations that we can make after the teams in front of us leave. Before we rotate, we pop a slap splash. Slap splash are the most important thing to have in endgame, as it lets you sprint for 60 seconds straight. When we leave, we use old builds of other players to block off lines of sight. On the way to circle, it's okay to look for some surge. However, I miss because I'm a drone. Right here, my teammate gets hit for a little bit of damage, so we pause up and heal up a little bit. Once he's all healed up, it's time to go. We are on full back side of zone with other players everywhere around us. Right here, all we had to do was use some ramps to get over players that got us inside of zone. My teammate gets a little banged up here, but I make a box for him and he gets to me safely. The first moving zone pulls max distance once again. That's 3 max distance zones in a row. We end up getting pressured a little bit, but we just hold. But now at this point, I need to look for a rotate. I need to look for an area that we can run to get into circle. I peek my cone and realize that the far west side was previously in storm, which means it's dead side. Nobody is currently over there. We pop a slap and just build across the zone as nobody is on this side. Being up higher blocks our angles from below, from the lower people on the right, and from the lower people on the left. We just continue to go over people, which blocks our angles from the sides and from the bottom. If we just look at this part here again, if we were on low ground, we would have been in danger of them shooting at us, but we stayed over them, got builds over them, and that allowed us to be completely above them and stay ahead. We make a perfect rotate on dead side where absolutely nobody is, making a beautiful rotate, getting into circle very easily. As you guys can see here, there's absolutely nobody even around us or looking at us. This is the power of dead side and being able to stay above your opponents by building above them. Start to think of and remember where dead side is in all of your moving zones in the future. Once you get in circle and box up, you have to be extremely aware of your surroundings. Right here, we get looked at, both quick reaction, we're able to stop them, and make more boxes around the back side of zone to be safe from getting sprayed from other people. Right here, my fragger duo ends up picking up a really clutch kill on the back side of zone. We need to get this refresh, but his teammate is still on his body, so we need to be really careful that he doesn't come back and shoot us. We get the mats, but we don't stay in storm for long, as we know that storm might pull far and there's another person really close to us. We see that zone pulls far, but we realize that the north zone was recently in storm, which means nobody's over there. It's completely dead side. All we do is pop a slurp and a slap that allows us to run while heal if we need to tank storm, and stay on complete dead side of the circle. Right here, we just block off what we need to and get down on low ground. We go down on low ground with a free rotate where absolutely nobody is. We get ahead with ease, and we just box up with wood as there is nobody around us or even looking at us. We also don't need to block our sides running in because we have the hill that blocks off our angle of sight. We get complete free low ground and are able to do whatever we want. Right here, I'm scouting out where other players are because it's essential to know where everyone is in the later zones. Right here, I tarp my way into zone, staying ahead while using hard mats so that we have an established place in zone. When boxing up or tarping in the late moving zones, you have to use hards or else you're going to get sprayed in. Once you have boxes built in zone, it's extremely important to look back as those are possible refresh opportunities. We can't stay for long though, as storm is still pulling and we have to get completely in. We're in circle here, but we're on a very contested layer. That needs to change. We see once again that zone pulls, but mats just dropped on us, so we get the mats really quick before executing the next rotate. We then pop a slap and do our best to stay ahead of zone. In this moment, I hear people above and behind me, so I place a ramp behind me and then full tarp our way in a circle. Right here, we're trying to stay on the right side of the moving zone, as it's really important to try to stay on one side of the moving zones. Watch here. I don't just make an edit into the middle, as I know that we'll probably get a shot. I make an edit to the right and tarp on the right side that we want to be on, and then drop low ground very easily, which is where we want to be. Once again, I'm blocking all angles, trying to keep as many mats as I can, dropping down on low ground where absolutely nobody is. Right here, we have a few hard boxes made, still very good heals, and still a good bit of mats between us for going into the final moving zone. So final moving zone finally pulls northeast. By being on a mid-ground layer in the final moving zone, you don't really need to block your sides as much, you just need to block your tops and bottoms. So I like to do a little cheap tarp like this. Right here, we're running out of mats, so we decided to play storm for a little bit using our slurp juice. My duo goes to pop it, but he ends up getting sprayed from above, which doesn't let him pop it, and then he dies. Now it's up to me to clutch by myself. I see that the player drops on my duo's body, so I back up and play storm for a bit using all of my weight heals that I have. Luckily for me, the opponent didn't get my teammates mats, ammo, or heals, so I get the slurps, the med mist, and the mats, and I'm able to play in storm for a little bit longer. After using all the heals I have to start making my way in a circle. I'm going to get storm sickness, and I can't stay in storm forever. I'm not going to win. I make my way in, secure height, but there's nothing really else I can do. I only have 10 med mist left, I use it all up, I have 4 builds, it's not looking too good. I'm now completely out of mats, there's nothing left I can do other than go down for a shot. I miss my shot, and that loses me the game as I have storm sickness. I'll still take a second place in a stacked lobby like that. This was part of an NA Open ladder where me and my duo placed 3rd place after 4 solid games. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if this video helped you out at all. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.